welcome. Thanks for joining me. My name is Erica, and today I'm going to be going through a sequence of yoga postures and some stretches that are specifically designed or selected with plantar fasciitis in mind. So plantar fasciitis is not uncommon. It's an inflammation of the plantar fascia, which is a tendon on the bottom of your foot. It starts back in the heel and runs up, and it helps to support the arch and support and distribute the weight as we're walking and doing various activities. So not going to get too heavy into the medical aspects of it. The internet is there for you, as well as, your doctors, medical professionals. But what we're going to look at today is doing some stretches for the bottom of the foot, doing some stretches for the top of the foot, stretching and strengthening the muscles through the ankles, the front of the shin, and through the calf, as well as particularly the Achilles. So those are all things that are related to the plantar fascia and should help to prevent and relieve. All right, so I'm going to be using a couple of props today for sure. A tennis ball of some sort, something that's like a squishy ball, has a little bit of give to it. I'm going to be using a folded over blanket, but just a towel or something like that. Anything that we're going to be grabbing it with the toes and kind of scooting it. So a t-shirt, anything that'll slide on the floor that you can grip with your toes. And then a strap. And again, if you don't have an actual strap at home, a belt, a scarf, a pair of leggings, a t-shirt, the same towel that you're using to scrunch on the floor. Anything will work, just to give you like a little bit of extension from your hands. And if you don't have a block, you could use a rolled up blanket. We're going to start off by sitting on the block. So a couple of pillows stacked, whatever works to give you a little bit of height in your hips. So we're going to start off in Virasana, which is hero's pose. So traditionally you would do this by kneeling and bringing your seat down between the heels. If this is available to you and this is comfortable and it doesn't hurt your knees and you're not like, what am I doing? Go for it. Otherwise, let's start off with the block. Give me a nice way to ease into it for sure. So taking the block back between the feet and then sitting the sit bones back on it. And what you're looking for is I'll do it from this side so you can see the toes to be pointed back behind the body. So that the top of the ankle is elongated, so you're pointing your toes, yeah. And getting a nice stretch here, starting to open up through the front of the foot, the top of the foot. And the knees can be aligned with the sit bones. And let's just take a moment here to find Virasana and just settle in. So, bringing the gaze down to look down the nose towards the floor, allowing the eyelids to be heavy, letting the palms rest on the thighs. Elbows can bend naturally, bringing the upper arm in line with your spine, in line with your torso. And it helps to automatically find a little bit more of an upright seated position and not be hunched forward. Maybe draw the shoulders up toward the ears and then release them down onto the back, let the shoulder blades slide. Yeah, and then just kind of let them be natural. And we'll take a couple of breaths here. Just taking a moment to settle in. Maybe noticing where in your body you most readily feel your breath. Maybe it's your nose, your chest, your belly, maybe your throat. And let's just watch the breath for a few moments. Not really doing anything to change it here, just checking in. Noticing the quality of the breath. Noticing if the breath is steady and even, or if it feels like it's catching anywhere. Noticing the points of contact with the earth, so the toes, tops of the feet, tops of the ankles, the shins, the knees. Noticing any sensations that you might be feeling in your legs. And then bringing awareness back to your breath once more. Let's take 3 collective breaths. So we'll inhale through the nose, softening the belly. And then exhale through the mouth. Once more, inhaling through the nose. And exhaling to side out the mouth. One more like that, inhaling through the nose. And sighing out the mouth. And then coming forward onto the hands, lifting the feet, or the seat off the feet, moving the block out to the side, and let's come around to sitting with the legs outstretched. And you might take the hands to roll the flesh of the thighs and the seat down and back, kind of creating a little bit more surface area. This is a really great place also. You can sit up on to a folded over blanket, something to kind of help to tilt the pelvis forward and find that upright position of the spine again. And so we're going to take the strap here, and we'll start with the right leg. So we'll draw the left foot in to the left foot to touch the inside edge of the right thigh. And then we'll take the strap or towel or whatever you're using in lieu and reach down, and you might bend the right knee. Reach down and loop it on to the underside of the right foot. So just like the ball of the right foot. And then begin to straighten the leg back out and take as much room in the strap as you need to. So maybe you're holding it a little further up, maybe you're holding it a little further back. Try to prevent like rounding in the back, right? We want to keep a nice straight back as we're doing this, which is where the towel comes in to help as well. But the focus is really going to be on the foot. So we'll take the hands into both, the strap into both hands, and then begin to press actively through the heel of your foot. So lengthen the whole right leg down and away, and pull the toes back slightly towards the face, and then draw on the strap. So you might have to wiggle the strap a little bit so you can find the sweet spot so you don't snap over your toes and lose the foot with the strap. But once you find it, underneath the ball of the foot, draw the foot back. So you should feel a nice stretch into the arch of your foot and into the back of the heel, as well as along the back side of the leg. And we're going to hold here for 5 rounds of breath. So pressing through the heel, pulling back on the strap, straight back. Here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently releasing the strap, drawing the right leg back in. And let's take the left hand, take it to the top of the right foot, and we're going to do a counter stretch. So slide the palm of the hand down over so you can press onto like the top of the foot, just below the base of the toes, and then draw the hand down so you're stretching the skin, stretching, and then you can grab on and get a nice, so you're curling the toes down underneath of the foot, stretching through the top of the foot and creating like this shape with your foot. So a thought here too is that this helps to bring more like blood supply back into the sole of the foot while also stretching the muscles on the top. And then releasing. And then we'll switch out the legs. So the left leg will come forward and the right leg will draw in. We'll reach with the strap, finding that little sweet spot again where you can kind of got a hook on there, and straightening the leg out. And then actively pressing out through the heel as you draw towards you with the strap. And again, keeping the back nice and light. Find it and then find your breath. For 5. For 4. for 3, for 2, and 1. And gently release. Sending the strap to the side. Let's draw the left foot in. This time doing the same stretch, so taking the right hand to the outside of the left foot, or the top side of the left foot, and drawing the flesh and the skin down and away. You might take a couple of strokes here. It can feel really nice to sort of move the circulation a little bit, stimulate the skin, and then kind of get that nice little curve of the foot. Kind of like if you see like a ballet shoe or something, toe shoe. Oh yeah, stretching to the top. All right, and then we'll release that. If you're using the blanket, let's set it off to the side. And come around to all fours. Maybe up towards the top of your mat, so that you can then reach back with your left foot. Bring the toes down to the floor, the tips of the toes, and then begin to rock down so you can roll. And the toes come down to the floor and you stretch, again pressing through the heel of the foot, so stretching through the back of the leg. Oh yeah, into the arch of the foot. Breath here. And then coming forward with the weight, untuck the toes, point the toes back, and then press in the top of the foot. Counter stretch, just like we just manually did. Breath. And then we'll flip it back, roll over, shift the weight back, roll over the toes, pressing out through the heel, stretching the back of the leg. Inhale and exhale, come forward over and stretch out the top, pointing the toes away. Inhale to roll back, stretching the toes and the back of the leg. Exhale to come forward. Let's do that one more time. Inhaling to roll back. Again, really actively pressing so you can feel it stretching through the calf and the back of the knee a little bit, and through the heel, the Achilles, and then forward to counter. All right, and then bring the left knee in and just pause, maybe taking a moment to notice if there's a difference in sensation between the left and the right leg. And then we'll extend the right leg behind, bring the toes to the mat, and then rocking back, pressing the toes into the mat, pressing back with the heel, stretching into the back of the right leg. Inhale here, exhale, rolling forward over the top of the foot to point the toe and stretch the front of the foot, the front of the shin. And inhaling to move back, exhaling to rock forward. Inhale, stretch it back. Exhale, rock it forward. Inhale, stretch it back. And exhale, rock it forward. And let's replace the right knee by the left. And then we'll go ahead and scoot back a little bit on the mat. All fours. Nice and even, neutral spine. And then walk your hands about one handprint back forward again. Let's tuck the toes under. And we'll lift the knees. We're going to lift the hips up and back, moving towards a downward facing dog. Okay, so go ahead and stay up on the soles of the feet for this, on the balls of the feet, for this down dog. And let's bend both of the knees pretty generously. And then with your right knee staying bent, let's begin to press, straighten the left leg, pressing the left heel towards the floor. Oh yeah. So really actively pressing down and out through the heel again, right? So we're stretching into that calf muscle again. We're really lengthening through the Achilles. Breath here. And then exhale, re-bending the left knee, coming back onto the ball of the left foot, and we'll repeat it to the right. So straightening the right leg, bring the right heel towards the floor, stretching into, and check what's going on with the hips, because there can be kind of a tendency to kind of curve out to like the right side here. So drawing the hips in, keeping the hips nice and squared, keeping the shoulders and the chest really nice and squared, really focusing the attention on the stretch in the back of the leg, that right leg. Another breath. And then back up to the ball of the foot. Let's go ahead and straighten out the left leg, bring the left heel towards the floor, keeping the right knee bent. Pause. Breathe, and then switch, coming up to the ball of the foot, stepping the right heel back. Stay for a breath. And then slowly paddling side to side, moving with your breath. Again, checking that the hip doesn't sway out to the side and that you are able to really feel the stretch into the back of whichever leg, whichever heel is pressing down. Let's do once more on each side. And begin to walk the feet in, walk the hands in, and come to standing in the middle of your mat. All right, so for this one, we're going to use the towel. So you take the towel out in front of your mat or out to the side of your mat, but you want it on something so that it'll slide, so it's not on the sticky mat. And what we're going to do is put the towel about so that your heel is on your mat and the ball of your foot is coming down onto the towel. And we're going to take the toes and use the toes like little fingers to like scrunch the towel in towards. So if you need to put your hand on the wall for balance, that's always a nice thing. And we'll start with the left foot forward. So draw the toes in, draw the towel in, release. Place it back down, draw the toes in, draw the towel in. Release. Do it again. Maybe like 5 times. Kind of depends on the length of your foot. And then switch sides. So press it away. So I got my heel of my right foot down. Just the toes of my right foot are on top of the towel. And I'm going to scrunch it in. Release, scrunch it in, release, scrunch it in, release, scrunch it in, release, and then I can do one more on this side. All right, let's do it once more on each side. Going back to the left, scrunch it in, release, scrunch it in, release, scrunch it in, release. And this is really, you might be surprised, it's like really intense into the plantar fascia and the muscles and the tendons on the underside of the foot. We'll do it once more on the right. All right, scrunch it in, release. All right. And then maybe a little counter, a little roll of the ankle, shake it out, whatever you need to do. There. All right, and then coming back to stand in the center of the mat, you might want to have your blocks handy or something to bring the floor a little bit closer up to you. We're going to end up going into a wide-legged forward fold, so it can be nice to have something solid to put your hands down onto. But first, let's find Tadasana. So Tadasana, mountain pose, is a really great foundation pose, really nice, solid starting posture. So start by pulling up all 10 of the toes, stretching them out and placing them back down, pressing down across the ball of the foot, across the outer edge of the foot and through the heel of the foot, and then lift the arches. So almost like when we were just like scrunching in with the toes, right? You can feel that arch activation. Not really gripping with the toes so much, but pressing the toes down and finding that same activation of the arch of the foot and through the ankle, right? So feel that lift move up through the inseam of your leg. So yeah, this is a really nice, stable foundation. Again, lifting the arch of the foot, beneficial for strengthening everything around stabilizing and helping to support the plantar fascia. All right, and let's step the feet out wide. So depending on how tall you are, you're looking at maybe like 4 feet apart. A good gauge is to stretch your arms out and try to have your ankles about underneath your wrists, yeah? And so we can bring the blocks to the front. And so just like we just did, so your feet are now parallel with the short edges of the mat, the toes are pointing forward. And just like we just did, press down the heel, the edges, the toes, lift through the arches. See what that does. That's like, I'm like standing still, but there's a lot of work happening right now, right? So micro bend into the knees so we're not locking anything out. And bring the hands to the hips. Let's inhale, find length of the spine. And exhale, begin to fold forward, hinging at the hips, stopping at any point. You can bring your hands down to the blocks. What we're really looking for is to find the strength in the legs here. That's where the focus is. So it doesn't need to be the deepest Prasarita Padottanasana you've ever done. And stay here for 3, for 2, for 1. And then maybe coming down a little further on the blocks. And stay for 3, for 2, for 1. And then maybe taking the blocks onto their lowest setting, or if you're like, the floor is really close, bring your hands down to the floor for 3, for 2. Legs are still active. That arch is still lifting. 1, and then gently bend the knees. Come on back up. Bring the hands to the hips. Back up to standing. And heel toe the feet in. All right. Maybe a little shaky shake out. And then we'll take the tennis ball and we'll do like a little ball massage on the foot. So 2 parts to this. The first part is actually, we're going to take the ball, and I recommend putting it on your mat so that it is minimally like going to pop out and like go flying, right? Especially if you have a tennis ball on the wooden floor, you don't want that to happen. So take the ball and place the heel of your foot over top of the ball, and we're just going to do some little presses here. So like you were pressing down a pedal with the heel of your foot, right? And let's do the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on that side. And then we'll go ahead and take the ball and give a little foot massage here. So rolling the ball from the heel out towards the big toe, towards the center, towards the little toe, and back across. So making like a 3-point massage. Oh yeah, that's nice. So starting with that pattern, the 3 points, and then as you move, you might start to roll a little bit more circular, going across. Find what feels nice. It's a little foot massage for yourself, right? It's helping to relax everything. So finding what feels right there, but starting with that up and down along the plantar fascia is a nice way, and then you can go across. All right, and then we'll switch out. Maybe just take a moment, feel the difference in your right foot and your left. And then we'll bring the heel of the left foot up on top of the ball. And we'll do the same thing. We'll count backwards this time from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we'll find that same nice little roll-out massage, going first from the heel to the big toe and back, then the heel to the center and back, and the heel to the left toe, the little toe and back. And by all means, if you are kind of like, unbalanced, you could always have the wall raise here, right? So big toe, center, little toe, center, big toe, center, little toe, center, and then maybe some circles going across side to side. A little free form, you know, what feels like it's beneficial and nurturing in your body, what feels right in your foot. All right, cool. And then we'll set the ball off to the side, somewhere where you're not going to accidentally step on it. And so taking your strap or your scarf, we'll take the strap into just the left hand so that there is a nice hanging loop like this. And you can come so that you can balance with your hand on the wall. And we'll take the left foot back and lasso it, kind of hook it with the strap. And then begin to draw the strap up and the foot in towards the seat. So again, we are looking to stretch out the top of the foot, right? So we're using a strap, and you can draw the strap here. And you can have one hand on the wall, or you can have both hands on the strap. If you have your hand on the wall, regardless of where you are, let's find one focal point to look at. Maybe the hand comes off the wall for some balance. You want to take the balance, maybe the right arm comes up. And then right arm comes back down, and release the foot. Bring it forward, a little counter stretch, roll the ankles, and release. And we'll do the second side. So I'll turn this way. So you can use a strap or you can use your hand. So it just depends on what's available to you. Taking the left hand to the wall, I'm going to bring the weight into the left foot, find balance here, find a focal point to look at, draw my right foot up into my right hand. And then I'm going to turn my right hand so that my feet are pointing down my wrist. And I can really get that nice, kind of like when we just manually stretched the foot before. Same sensation. Like when we were seated at the beginning and we were curving the foot in, right? So stretching through the top. And I have my focal point. And maybe you take your hand off the wall, it comes to heart center. And breathe. Maybe you bring your left arm up overhead. And breathe. With your hands lifted, you can bring it back through center and then to the wall. And then gently, without slingshotting, just release the right foot. Bring the knee up and forward. Take some circles with the ankle. And bring it back down. All right, so final standing pose. We're going to take basically like a warrior one, a Virasana one at the wall. So I'll do it this direction so you think you can see best. So I'm going to take my toes and press them against the wall, but down at the baseboard, right? So that my foot can come flat to the floor, but my toes are going up the wall. And then I'm going to take my left foot behind, and at about a 45-degree angle, I'm going to press down into my right foot and lift up. Find that same lift of the inner arch, squaring the hips and the chest to the wall. I'm going to bend into that left knee and press out through the back leg. So I'm stretching the bottom of my left foot, stretching the bottom of the toes, stretching that insertion point of the plantar fascia. And then with my right foot, my back foot, pressing actively out, lifting up the arch. So really strengthening the supportive muscles there. And the hand can stay on the wall, or the hands might come up overhead. Let's take 3, 2, 1 here, and then hands come back down, placing the hands against the wall. You can step the left foot back, square off the feet, and switch them out. So bring the right foot to the wall so that the toes go up the wall and the foot's on the floor. Turn the left foot 45 degrees, so see it from a different angle here, yeah? And I'm going to bend into that right foot and press into that back leg. Lifting. See, there can be a tendency for the left leg, put on a dump. Lift through the inseam of the leg, through the arch of the leg. The inseam of the leg, the arch of the foot. And when I find stability here, I can keep my hands on the wall. Might bring one arm up, might bring the other arm up. And a nice stretch. Let's say for 3, for 2, softening the shoulders out of the ears, for 1, and then gently hands come down, and set my feet back. Take a moment, again, maybe do little circles with the ankle, shake it out, and then we'll come back down to the floor and find child's pose. So a couple of variations of child's pose you can take if it's comfortable for you to keep your knees together and come forward like this. That's great. If it's not comfortable like that, you can keep your feet together and your knees wide and come forward like this. Also great. You also can bring a block to support your forehead in case you don't reach the floor or it's just not comfortable for you to be like that. But what we're looking for again is to have the tops of the feet nice and stretched out, toes pointed. Coming down. And you can have your forehead, or you can turn your head to one side. And then you bring the hands down alongside the feet. And you might actually take this opportunity to give your feet a nice little massage with your hands. And it's kind of stroking, sort of like we did with the ball, but just using your fingers to go from the heel out to the big toe, back in, out to the middle, back in, out to the left, back in. And then any little side to side across. Just give your feet some love. We ask a lot of our feet. Yeah, they literally carry us through life. And we don't always give them any attention or positive thanks. So just giving a little bit of sweetness to the feet here. We'll stay here for another couple breaths. And then coming back up, you're kneeling or upright. Just go ahead and switch around onto the back. Laying down onto your back and finding Savasana, final resting pose. Any final little fidgety movements you need. And then taking the feet out wide. The arms can come down by your side. Maybe walk one shoulder blade onto the back and then the other, creating a little bit of broadness across the chest, a little openness from the collarbones. Take the shoulders down away from the ears. Allow the elbow creases and the palms to roll up. Unless you feel like you'd like a little more grounding, you can turn the palms and face them down in that case. Soften the gaze, close down the eyes. Taking a moment here to allow the body to absorb benefits of the practice, maybe noticing what your breath feels like now versus at the beginning of class, what your feet feel like now versus the beginning, what your mind feels like now versus the beginning. And then let go of that awareness and that attention and just let yourself be. You're welcome to stay resting in Tadasana as long as you like. When you are ready to begin to come out, inviting some movement back into the body, first by way of the breath, just deepening the breath, inhaling through the nose, maybe sighing out the mouth. Beginning to take intuitive movement, so be wiggling the fingers, wiggling the toes, circling the ankles and the wrists, maybe taking your arms and interlacing the hands and pressing them up and away. Give yourself an early morning stretch. And then when you're ready, gently bending the knees, bring the feet to the floor and making your way onto your left side. Just lay here for a moment and pause in a kind of fetal-esque position, feeling yourself supported by the earth. Maybe you can feel your heartbeat against the earth. And then keeping the gaze soft, making your way back up into a seated position. And resting with either the arms, hands down on the thighs, or you can bring your palms to touch in front of heart center. If you're doing that, gently press the thumbs into the sternum, lift the sternum into the thumbs. Wherever you're at, take a moment to give yourself some thanks. Thanks for showing up and moving and breathing with intention. Taking some time out of your day to take care of yourself. I thank you for being here. It's always a pleasure and an honor to lead through these practices. Thank you so much. Take care.